Friday night under the lights at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas, as we close out the second day of competition for the CrossFit athletes. And it is a familiar event to the CrossFit community with a spin. More on that in just a second, but glad you're with us, everybody, as we wind down day number 2 of competition here at Dell Diamond. The first day of competition here, second day of competition for CrossFit athletes. I'm Sean Woodland with Adrian Conway. And in the overall standings, Justin Medeiros is in first place. You do not want to give this guy a huge lead because he is tough to catch, and right now he has a 35-point cushion. Still plenty of action to go, though.
Yeah, 35 points this early in the competition is bad news to the rest of the men's field. Historically, we see Justin chip away at whomever's lead he might be dwindling away at, but he doesn't often take the lead until some of the last few events in the course of a competition, and now that he's got such a cushion, it's going to be very hard to catch him with what points are left on the table.
Justin Medeiros has 270 points. He's 35 ahead of both Adler and Khrennikov. Chandler Smith, first time we've seen him in live competition since the Granite Games. He is in 4th place, and it's Patrick Vellner, who has 225 points and sits in 5th. Event number 4, like I said, it's one that the entire CrossFit community knows, but it's DT with a spin now, presented by YETI.
Yeah, DT is a hero workout that we've seen present itself historically within competition. We saw it in 2015 heavy, 2016 double, and now it's with a spin. 15 calories on the Echo Bike, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push jerks, 5 rounds for time.
Now that we have added the Echo Bike in here, how does this change the way that you might approach this event?
You know, you've got to do it with a conscious awareness that it's going to take a lot of energy and effort on that bike. You've got to be willing to lose early to win late. That means pacing is extremely important here. And then, of course, understand that the calories do count there. You can't just sit there and recover. The work that you accumulate and time that you spend on that bike matters. And then this workout tremendously favors big engines and strong bodies. So those are some of the key athletes to be eyeing in on once we watch this event begin.
Lane assignments for the first of 2 heats for the men. Noah Olson will be in lane number 6, a guy who has done this event before in competition in both 2015 and then again in 2016 when it showed up as heavy and double at the CrossFit Games. Cole Sager has also done this event those 2 years at the CrossFit Games. Jonakowski getting to the Echo Bike. You mentioned big guys with engines. Tim Paulson, the last time we saw him on an Echo Bike, 30 calories in less than 30 seconds.
Full send Tim is what we could name him. He's got to be someone to watch when we understand that he's got the motor that he can power through these Echo Bike calories, and we know that he's familiar with a barbell and cycling it at a fast rate. So I think that this could be a great combination in this couplet for someone like Tim.
210 total repetitions with 42 reps per round. And it's Noah Olson who will be off the bike first, and Heinrich Kapelainen down in lane number 1 will join him at the barbell. Here comes Tim Paulson, Scott Tetlow, Chandler Smith, and the entire field now. On to their first round of DT. 12 deadlifts, the 9 hang power cleans, and then the 6 push pulls. 155 pounds on the barbell.
We're going to notice several different strategies here on the hang power cleans as athletes tend to use the rebound or the recoil of their thighs with the barbell to help the next rep feel a bit easier. This is using that stretch reflex and that lift. Some will stay more upright and some will hinge forward.
Heinrich Kapelainen back to the bike first. Jack Farlow was right there as well. Jorge Fernandez close to the lead pack, and now every man is back for round number 2 of 5. That's the 84 rep mark to finish their second round. Take a look at Heinrich Kapelainen.
Heinrich is one of those longer and stronger bodies within the heat. here. And I think what's important, even as the viewers or as friends and family watch this, they're probably watching their athlete like, hey, go, 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 go. Why aren't you going faster? And again, one of the key aspects here in elements is be patient early. You're building your heart rate. You're creating a lot of metabolic distress, which creates burning sensations in the muscles. These athletes have to navigate that early so they can kick into their aerobic system and finish with more urgency than when they start this workout.
Jorge Fernandez and Jonakoski in the white hat were the first two men back to the barbell for round two. Heinrich Happelainen now on the far right side of your screen. You can see his head there on the very edge. He was the third man there. 84 reps is what they need to get to complete this round. Jorge Fernandez is now on his final 6 shoulder to overhead, and these shouldn't be a problem for him. Jonakoski is back to the bike. Fellow Finn Heinrich Happelainen joins him, and now here's Jorge Fernandez.
Yeah, I like what I see out of Jona here. Good body language. He's focused. He looks smooth. His cadence is remaining tremendously consistent there from what we saw in round 1 and round 2 on the bike and now into round 3. And this is where I believe we'll really start to see separation on athletes who nailed it with their pacing on the first 2 rounds into the latter 3 of this workout.
Jorge Fernandez in that black shirt is someone who is very familiar with being on a baseball diamond. Played baseball at San Diego State University. He was a right-handed pitcher there. And in 2017, he led the entire team with at least 45 innings pitched with a 2.79 ERA over 23 appearances, including 5 starts, and held opposing hitters to a 227 batting average with runners on base.
Right now he's holding right on to Jona here, trying to trail him closely for the lead of this 3rd round.
Chandler Smith is creeping up as well, as is Cole Sager. .126 repetitions will be the end of round 3. 11-minute time cap here, first of 2 heats for the men, their final event of the day. It's the 4th event that they will have competed in. 10 events total here at the Rogue Invitational, and a couple of them are still unknown. Jonakoski in the lead, back to the bike to start round 4. Here comes Happelainen and now Cole Sager, Chandler Smith, and Jorge Fernandez. Paulson and Tetlow moving back.
And I want to say Jona's got to keep an eye out for some of these bigger, more powerful athletes here in the latter part of this workout, because there's a chance that Henrik Happelainen could be holding on to something just enough to really be able to surge the last 15 calories in a workout like this that could minimize that lead that Jona's established immediately. So he just has to be a little bit aware of that capacity or potential there for some of these athletes and keep them at arm's length just to secure his lead.
It is getting tighter at the top now. Jonakoski has about a calorie lead on Chandler Smith. Jorge Fernandez, Cole Sager, and Heinrich Happelainen just a handful of calories behind them. Tim Paulson is moving up as well. Paulson on the bottom of your screen. Jonakoski done first. Here comes Chandler Smith now in second, followed by Jorge Fernandez and Cole Sager. Now Tim Paulson in 5th. Heinrich Happelainen starting to fall back. They got to get to 168 reps. That'll be the end of round 4.
Jona's still looking tremendously composed.
Jonakoski made his CrossFit Games debut back in 2014. He's been to the games every year since except for 2018. Koski is done. Final round for him. And Chandler Smith has fallen back into 3rd as Cole Sager moves to the bike in 2nd. Happelainen at the top of your screen, fighting with Smith for 3rd place in the heat right now, and Tim Paulson going back to the bike along with Jorge Fernandez.
This is where you really have to toe the line as an athlete, knowing that you've got one more complex left of that barbell, and then you're in the home stretch. As we watch Tim Paulson in the bottom of the screen doing what he does. There goes the head notch on.
Looks like he's going Paulsen here on the final 15 calories, and he's now within 3 of Jonakoski, now 2 of Jonakoski. Paulsen has moved into second place now. Koski might not know it because Paulsen's at the other end of the field. And Koski's off. Now here comes Paulsen right behind him. Sager's done. And here comes Chandler Smith.
Jonah doing a great job staying at the bar. He's resting, but he's minimizing the time.
Quick rest for Paulsen. They got to sprint across the finish line here. Koski is holding off Paulsen right now, opening up about a 6-rep lead. He's on his shoulder to overhead as Jonakoski. Jonakoski is done, and he will win heat number 1 of DT with a spin, presented by YETI. 8:04.49 seconds. Now here comes Tim Paulsen, looking for his best result of the competition. And now Chandler Smith is in. Heinrich Haapalainen is done, and Haapalainen makes his way across the finish line in the upper right-hand part of your screen. Noah Olsen is done. Got Tetlow coming across. Now Nick Matthew, who came in 10th place overall, won the last event, is towards the back here in this opening heat as Jorge Fernandez, who at one point in this event was fighting for the lead, will take 8th as Heinrich Haapalainen is already across the finish line. Matthew is done, and that leaves the youngest man in the competition, Jack Farlow, still on the field in his final round.
A lot of value for the young athlete and Jack Farlow here being left on the field. There's memories here that you can soak up and use as tremendous leverage into your training to understand that this is something I've got to work on, my pacing, my aerobic capacity. And it's going to pay off for him if he's willing to put forth the effort and focus and use this as a positive experience.
And that will close out heat number 1 with Jonakoski. Felt a little pressure from that man, Tim Paulsen, late in the event, but Koski was able to hold him off and take the heat win at 8:04.49 seconds.
All Yona here. This was straight up an elegant dance executed by Jonakoski. He literally knew his threshold. He towed the line the entire workout. He planned his breaks perfectly, and he rested early, but not too often and not too long. And that's really the key in towing the threshold in a workout like this, DT with a spin. Great execution by him. A savvy vet, and he showed it.
Jonakoski takes the opening heat, and we have 1 heat remaining for the men as the second day of competition for the CrossFit athletes comes to a close here under the lights at Dell Diamond. Final heat for the men in DT with a spin presented by YETI. A twist on a CrossFit hero workout.
Yeah, we know this workout well. It is a hero workout. We saw it be presented in 2015 heavy. We saw it in 2016 double, and now we see it with this Echo bike. It's 15 calories to start each round, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push jerks, all at 155 for these guys.
Jonakoski with the time to beat. If someone is going to chase that down, what is he going to have to do to accomplish that?
Well, they're certainly going to have the ability to pace appropriately right out of the gate. You know, really, are you willing to lose early in order to win late? Now, we watched Jona toe the line, and he was able to stay towards the front of the pack throughout the whole workout. A lot of these athletes don't have that capability, so are you willing to pace early to have success? Now, the calories do count on the bike. You can't just bypass this work, and it takes a diligent effort and focus to keep the watts where they need to be. And of course, it seems to be workouts like this favor big engines and strong bodies, which of course, those are the athletes that we're going to be watching after in this particular heat.
Athletes taking the field here for this second heat. Here are your lane assignments. Talked about Justin Medeiros, who now has a 35-point lead over both Jeffrey Adler and Roman Khrennikov after just 3 events. Medeiros will be right in the middle of the field in lane number 6. He already has an event win, took event number 2, and then his other 2 finishes a 5th in the opening event and then the 3rd in back attack.
This workout is pretty pure CrossFit, Sean. I like his ability to pace this amongst the rest of the field and really optimize his own performance. This is where sometimes Medeiros can be his most dangerous. Might not be picking him to take it all home, but boy, he's hard to beat because we know he's not going to step in his own way.
Jonakoski with the time to beat at 8:04.49 seconds. And we are set to get heat number 2 underway. Ricky Garrard in the black is trying to rebound from a rough outing in event number 3. Back-to-back third-place finishes, but then the wheels kind of came off in back attack. He took 18th and now sits in 7th place overall. Garrard in the all black right next to Justin Medeiros. Second and final heat is underway. Jason Hopper, he's at the right of middle of your screen in the white top. He won the opening event, but he has been heading the wrong way since that victory. A 19th and a 13th, but he has a chance to turn that around here.
Yeah, I like Jason Hopper anytime there's a bike involved. I'm just going to be honest with you. A stationary bike, I like that man because he has got a high power output. And if you guys follow along with his history, you know that he's had some good outcomes, particularly with thrusters and Echo bike last year here at this Rogue Invitational. So I think he's an athlete to watch for this particular event.
Roman Khrennikov is the first man done with his 15 calories and gets right to work on the barbell. He is in the middle of your screen in the blue shirt and black pants. 42 reps per round, 5 total rounds, and once again, Jonakoski's the man they're all trying to chase down at 8:04.49 seconds.
Now notice the difference between the way these guys are cycling these hang power cleans. Roman's got more of the hinge forward, Quan's slapping it off his thighs, uses the rebound. One's faster, the way Quan's doing it, and one tends to keep your heart rate a little bit lower, the way Roman's doing it. It'll be interesting to see which one pays off for these athletes.
Roman Khrennikov followed by Jason Hopper and Saxon Panchik, the first 3 men back to the bike. Justin Medeiros was not far behind. Now the entire field onto round number 2. Ricky Garrard, one of the last men to get onto the bike here. 15 more calories to start round 2.
you know what I like here, Sean, and I got to give a shout out to Chris Spieler and Josh Bridges for their programming here, is it's a beautiful balance of time on the bike versus time on the bar. If you're really attacking that barbell well, it often mirrors about the same amount of time that you're spending on the bike, and I think that it takes a lot of practice, a lot of time, and clearly a lot of experience with the programmers to understand what their intended outcome was.
Roman Khrennikov now with just a couple calories left as he looks to maintain his lead. He will be first off the bike. And it's so great to finally see Roman Khrennikov in live competition after everything that he went through the past 4 years just trying to get over to the CrossFit Games. Finally makes that happen here in 2022. Finishes on the podium in second place by just 27 points to Justin Medeiros. He will be in North America for the foreseeable future. Looking forward to seeing him continue to compete at these in-person events.
Roman into round 2, looking like he's going completely unbroken with that barbell. It almost looks like it's attached to his body.
Pat Vellner and Sam Quant are fighting with Bjorn Gudmundsson for second place right now on the heat as Khrennikov is through 2 of his 5 rounds. Justin Medeiros has moved into second along with Sam Quant. Here comes Patrick Vellner. Jason Hopper and Saxon Panchik at the top of your screen. Panchik in the dark shirt. And Jeffrey Adler just put the barbell down, and he and Jason Hopper moving back together to the bike on the right side of your screen.
I'm going to keep my eye out on that Pat Vellner guy. I slipped up and didn't do that a time or two earlier today already, and he kind of snuck in. So I'm gonna keep my eye out on Pat Vellner in the corner of my eye.
There is Patrick Vellner, who comes in 5th place overall, 225 points. He's only 10 points out of second right now. And Vellner is creeping up on Roman Khrennikov. Hand in the air for Justin Medeiros as well. And Khrennikov is back to the barbell now for round 3 of DT. Here comes Quant and Vellner, Gudmundsson, and Medeiros as well. Now Jason Hopper.
We're going to watch here. Some key decisions are going to take place here on the barbell in this round. Pat drops the bar. He's letting it rest. Roman's hanging on again from his deadlifts to his hang cleans. Quant drops the bar. So Roman's clearly got the intention to go unbroken here, at least through 3 rounds. And that's where he seems to buy about 2 to 3 seconds on each round on some of these athletes.
126 will be the end of this 3rd round. And Khrennikov now has 3 reps to go to get there. He is done. Roman Khrennikov back to the bike to start round 4. And we'll see who is next. It's going to be Sam Quant, followed by Justin Medeiros and Patrick Vellner and Bjorn Gudmundsson. So the top 5 holding here as we move into round 4. Not a lot of changes here.
Hopper and Gerard both just barely making it back to the bike.
Sam Quant, the last 2 times he has competed at the CrossFit Games, he's finished inside the top 4, second in 2020. And then he had that medical issue in 2021 at the Mid-Atlantic CrossFit Challenge. Never got on track there, did not qualify. Back in 2022, and he finished in 4th place.
And he looks good, you know, and I say that just from a physical presence, you know, his body composition, his awareness, like he looks like he's full of energy here to compete. And I remember watching him in 2016, Sean, win double DT. So he likes this barbell.
Patrick Vellner got to the barbell just ahead of Roman Khrennikov, but Khrennikov is continuing to work. And now he and Vellner just about even here for the lead as Khrennikov continues to go unbroken on the barbell. He has regained the lead from Vellner, but Vellner doing some good work there on the Echo bike to move ahead of Sam Quant in the race for second. Justin Medeiros is working back there as well. Final 6 reps in this round for Roman Khrennikov. And he moves into his 5th and final round, trying to chase down Yonakoski's time of 8:04.49 seconds. Sam Quant now in 2nd, Medeiros in 3rd, Hopper and Vellner now even for 4th. Or make that Gudmundsson, pardon me. And now here comes Jason Hopper.
And this is where we get to see a bit of a final kick. Roman had about a 4-second lead on Quant getting to the bikes. cadence is pretty similar between the two. Roman may have an edge up on RPMs there as he seems to be cycling his bike just a touch faster.
Final 5 calories for Roman Khrennikov, who briefly surrendered the lead to Vellner in round 4, but now he is back in front. Vellner looks like he is in 3rd place as Quant is just about done. Here comes Roman Khrennikov with less than a minute to complete this final round of DT and pick up an event win. And depending on what Justin Medeiros does, he could really close that gap. He needs some help here, though, in this heat, as Medeiros is now off the bike for the final time. Quant and Vellner on the barbell in their 5th and final rounds as well.
Boy, if Roman can hold on here and go unbroken, what an excellently paced event for him.
Final couple reps now. 5 remain for Roman Khrennikov. His first career appearance in person at the Rogue Invitational and his first event win here. Roman Khrennikov, 100 points as he takes DT with a spin. And now Sam Quant right behind him. Now keep in mind, Yonakoski's time could factor in here and help out Roman Khrennikov as now Justin Medeiros is across the finish line along with Bjorgvin Gudmundsson. Jason Hopper, Vellner, and Gerard also across. Here comes Adler, now Lazar Jukic. Saxon Panchik will be the last man to finish here. Final rep for Panchik, and with that, day number 2 of competition for the CrossFit athletes is done here at the Rogue Invitational, and it's Roman Khrennikov who picks up 100 points and his first event win of the competition.
What an execution by Roman. Paced well all the way out the gate, and he led that whole darn thing. That is impressive to lead an event like that the whole time and knock it out of the park with knowing your own capacity.
He and Sam Quant both go sub 8. And Khrennikov looking to move up the overall standings and have second place all to himself, and he cuts into that lead that Justin Medeiros had. 35 points coming into the event.
And it's all Roman for this one. We know that when you play with having a buffer on the rest of the field in a particular area, you get to hold on to your reserves, which means that you get to conserve a little bit of energy. And he did that on the bike. He went just fast enough to go unbroken each round on this complex, and that allowed him to really dictate his whole entire event. And of course it ended with a shirtless Roman and a happy victor.
And a shirt toss into the crowd. Roman Khrennikov enjoying his time competing in person here, and he picks up 100 points with a time of 7:49.76 seconds. Sam Quant with 95 points in second place. Yonakoski's top time from heat number 1 is good enough for 3rd. And then Bjorgvin Karl Gudmundsson helping out Khrennikov as well as he gets in ahead of Justin Medeiros, who takes 5th place in the event, but another top 5 finish for your defending Rogue Invitational champion. Let's send it down to Kiki Dixon with Roman Khrennikov.
DT is a well-known hero workout for most of the CrossFitters. And they've come across it at some point in their training. But how much of a game changer was the Echo bike?
Этот воркаут очень хорош для меня, потому что я люблю комбинацию штанги с кардиотренажером. Я выкладывался на штанге, и, как я сказал своему тренеру, я буду восстанавливаться с тем темпом, на котором они будут работать.
He loves this combination of cardio equipment with the barbell. It's his favorite. So he told his coach this. On a DT, he'll go unbroken and fast. And on the bike, he's going to go in his recovery pace, which is most of the athletes' working pace. So,
Congratulations, 100 points is coming your way.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Roman Khrennikov now sits in second place all by himself, and he carves 20 points off of Justin Medeiros' lead. Bjorven Gudmundsson moves into third. Patrick Vellner creeping up the leaderboard now sits in fourth place with 295 points, and Jeffrey Adler drops down to fifth. Sam Quant, he also makes a move from ninth up to sixth. Always fun to watch a guy like Roman Khrennikov compete.
Always fun. The smile, the energy, everything he brings to the table, man, it makes it very enjoyable.
We've waited for a while to see him in person, and it has certainly been worth the wait. The men are done. Women taking the final event of the day for a spin when we return to the 2022 Rogue Invitational. It's the final event of the day of Friday here at the Rogue Invitational. DT with the spin as the Echo Bikes and the barbells are back out on the field as the women get set to take on event number 4. From Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Glad you're with us, everybody. Sean Woodland and Adrian Conway. We have Kiki Dixon down on the competition floor. Your overall standings coming into this event, it's Emma Lawson, who is still your leader with 230 total points. She has a 10-point cushion on Gabriella Magawa. Cara Saunders sits in third by just 15 points. And then Laura Horvath has a 5-point cushion on Ariel Lowen and Annie Thorisdottir. Event number 4 is DT with a spin presented by YETI.
And DT with a spin is a nice spin indeed. And we see that the bike has tremendous value here. It's going to be 5 rounds with 15 calories on the bike, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push jerks, all at 105 pounds for these ladies. And while we've seen it in the past, this is certainly a new version of DT.
Keys to the event here as the first of 2 heats gets set to start.
The keys are, can you lose early to win late, or are you willing to? Pacing is extremely important here with these 5 rounds. The calories on the Echo Bike count, so you need to mind your wattage and mind your competitors to strike when it's time. And then, of course, big engines and strong bodies are the natural prototype that this type of programming tends to favor. So those are the athletes that are on our tracker for this event.
10 women in this first of 2 heats. Lane assignments will be on the left side of your screen. Annie Thorisdottir, who finished second at this event last year, making her first appearance in individual competition since she took second at the Rogue Invitational in 2021. 6th place overall coming in. And Ellie Turner, who had a really strong performance in the last event, finishing second in event 3. Hoping to follow that up here. Turner will be in lane number 5. First of 2 heats for the women is underway. Carolyn Prevost hopping on the bike. Now, Bailey Rogers had a great start to the competition, Adrian. Finished second, but since then a 10th and then a 20th.
Yeah, she has, but I like her for this event. And the reason is because someone coming in with such a strong Olympic weightlifting background as her and showing the prowess in a simple monostructural event like event 1 was, I believe the combination of these 2 things together should favor her quite well. So we'll see, can she have the ability to pair them together in one event and strike while the iron's hot, or the opportunity is there for her as an athlete.
Rogers getting set to close out her first set of 15 calories. Annie Thorisdottir will be the first woman off of the bike, and she moves to the barbell. Here comes Matilda Gars, Danny Spiegel, Ellie Turner there as well. The majority of the field now is onto the barbell for the first time. Maria Solberg getting to the barbell for the first time. Now, every woman, as Carolyn Prevost in the background there, hops off the bike onto their first round of DT. 42 reps per round, 210 reps total, and it's Annie Thorisdottir, who is now 1 rep away from closing out round number 1, and she will head back to the bike for 15 more calories.
And I'll tell you what I liked from Annie on that round is that every barbell repetition was done with urgency. Those deadlifts were fast. She took a quick break. Those hang cleans were fast. She took a quick break. She was right into those push jerks. And that's going to favor her very well, simply because she's going to be able to dictate the pace that she needs to set on the bike if she can keep this slight lead.
Ellie Turner was the second woman back to the bike behind Annie Thorisdottir. Matilda Garns was close behind them. Those three, your leaders right now in the heat. Bailey Rogers inside the top 5 right now, but still 4 rounds remain.
It's very early, and what we want to see from these athletes on the bike is that they're driving with their legs right down through the meat or the middle of their foot into the pedal and pressing and pulling with their arms equally to help make sure that they're distributing the power load as much as they can, not fatiguing one muscle group over the other too much.
Thorisdottir is done. Back for her second round of DT. Starts with those 12 deadlifts. 105 pounds on the barbell for the women.
Ending with a quick break at the barbell, but then right back to work. Those are so predicted, those breaks that she's creating there. And because she's breaking them early and often, it allows her to rest not long at all.
Matilda Garns in the gray pants is trying to hold off Ellie Turner right now. Turner on her hang power cleans, and she has a really good cycle time going. She's towards the left middle of your screen. Now right in the middle in that black top and those gray pants as Annie Thorisdottir closes out round 2, and Ellie Turner will not be far behind her as Turner is done, and she heads back to the bike to start round 3. Here comes Matilda Garns. Top 3 remain the same at the end of round number 2. So we're at the end of round 1. Danny Spiegel back to the bike. And on Enganese in those bright blue pants. Be a Kerstetter in the long blue pants, right of the screen. Hanging tough in this event as well as Annika Greer has just closed out her second round along with Carolyn Prevost.
And young Olivia Kerstetter has to really enjoy this couple here. You know, I think that both of these movements tend to favor her strong suits as an athlete, at least thus far. Strong with a barbell, solid on an erg. So she's going to have an opportunity for a good showing.
Annie Thorisdottir now to start round 3 of DT, right to work. Approaching the halfway point as far as reps are concerned in this event. Now she's on the back side of it. Here comes Matilda Garns, just ahead of Ellie Turner.
I'll tell you, often people watching these athletes work out, again, they question, well, why is she breaking? She could completely go unbroken. Well, folks, she could, but just because you can doesn't mean you should. And that's going to be one of these things that vets do, veterans in our sport, that separate them from a lot of youth. They understand this and it allows them to optimize their performance in events like this.
Thorisdottir now into round number 4. Staying ahead of both Ellie Turner and Matilda Garns. Turner back to the bike, and Garns right behind her. So it's Garns who's able to pass Turner on the bike, but Ellie's work on the barbell has been faster than Garns right now. Olivia Kerstetter has moved up into 4th place in the heat.
Chipping away at the lead so far, showing good signs of self-awareness and pacing. You see Danny Spiegel's taking her time back to that bike. She kind of knows that if she gets there too soon, she's not going to be able to pedal so fast anyway. So she's, again, this is all about management, individual to individual.
Carolyn Prevost back to the bike, and Annika Greer now start her 4th round as Annie Thorisdottir continues to lead.
Okay, Annie, now at this point, she looks around and there's no one there. It's that self-urgency and awareness that she's got to have to setting the time to beat.
Ellie Turner ahead of Matilda Garns. And we have the Legends competition here, and Annie Thorisdottir absolutely qualifies as a legend. She's competed in 3 different decades at the CrossFit Games, made her debut in 2009, won back-to-back championships in 11 and 12. Finished on the podium in 2021 after taking a season off to have her daughter Freya, as Ellie Turner is putting a little pressure now on Annie Thorisdottir.
Yeah, she's made her move. Annie put down that bar one more time after those hang cleans on this one and really opened the door for Miss Turner to make a push here. Sees the opportunity.
5th and final round for both Thorisdottir and Turner, and now Matilda Garns is back for her final 15 calories. 11-minute time cap here. 4th event of the competition, 10 total. And there are still 2 that have yet to be revealed.
Matilda Garn's doing a great job leaning into those pedals, putting her center of gravity as close as she can to right over the middle of those pedals, so as much of her length and her body weight can assist her in creating the power into that bike. She's truly taking advantage of maximizing it there.
Judge's hand is in the air for Thorisdottir. 5 calories to go, and now judge's hand in the air for Ellie Turner as she is getting set to close out her final 15. Matilda Garn's getting close as well. Thorisdottir's done. Working her way back to the barbell as Ellie Turner is going to get set to hop off here. Thorisdottir right to work.
Okay. And he's got to know that Ellie's got full intention of going unbroken here.
7 reps down for Thorisdottir before Turner picked up the barbell. And now another break for Annie. Turner continuing to work, and she's creeping up. Annie's on the hang cleans. Turner on the hang cleans.
Can't go down now. She's going to drop it here.
And she does, and Turner's going to hang on. Turner now slightly ahead of Thorisdottir. It's going to be a race to the finish between these two. Turner is done, so Ellie Turner with a late charge is going to get across the finish line, and here comes Annie Thorisdottir to take 2nd in the heat. So another solid performance from Ellie Turner. Matilda Garns is in.
Great event by Matilda. Nice execution.
How about
Olivia there?
Olivia Kerstetter in 4th place at 9:13.07 seconds. Kerstetter in 19th place overall, but looking for her 2nd straight top 10 finish in an event, as Danny Spiegel is on her final round, and Spiegel will work her way to the finish.
That's the kind of race you like to see right there, all the way through that chip timer, ladies. Don't you give up those 5 points.
She was racing with Solberg, who Solberg managed to get across the finish line. You see her sprawled out in the purple pants. So she beats Spiegel across. Now here's Bailey Rogers. 8 reps to go.
Hanging on, really obviously hit a wall here, folks. And this is that threshold position in a workout where you're holding on for dear life, knowing you're close to the end, but you've really expended all the energy that you've got. You're hanging on to technique. It's going to push you through the finish line.
Here comes Bailey Rogers, and that will leave Annika Greer as the last woman on the field. She's got 30 seconds left, and she is on her final round here. Greer is fighting for all she's worth here to make it inside the time cap. And she will sneak in.
She'll do it
with about 9 seconds to spare. But it's Ellie Turner who wins the heat. 8:54.27 seconds. And did not take the lead until those final couple of reps on DT.
Yeah, she was literally lying in wait, right? Annie, it was all Annie this whole workout, at least to our assumption. She led vast majority of it. She paced the bike well. She had a strict strategy on the barbell, but Sean, it was honestly too strict. You've got to leave this, you know, parameter open to the fact that, hey, someone's close to me, someone's near or within striking distance, and Ellie Turner seized the moment and went completely unbroken on the last 2 rounds of DT, and that's why she was our winner.
Ellie Turner looking for another solid event result here after finishing second in event number 3, 8:54.27 seconds. Annie Thorstadter and Matilda Garns, they were your top 3 throughout the entirety of that event. 16-year-old Olivia Kerstetter hoping for her best finish of the competition. She takes 4th, and Andrea Solberg just beats Danny Spiegel across the finish line to take 5th with 1 heat remaining. Take a quick break. Second and final heat for the women coming up next with DT with a spin. Friday night comes to a close here at the 2022 Rogue Invitational, the final heat for the women. DT with a spin presented by YETI.
DT with a spin. We know that DT is a hero workout. We've seen it heavy in 2015. We saw it double in 2016 at the CrossFit Games, and now the Rogue Invitational gives it to us with the Echo bike. It's 15 calories on the bike, 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push jerks, all at 105 pounds for these ladies, 5 rounds for time.
Your overall leaders will be on the field. Emma Lawson right now is on top of the overall standing with 230 points, 10-point cushion on Gabby McGowan. And the keys to the event.
Yeah, Emma is doing her thing, and we'll see if she's able to run this race appropriately, but you've got to lose early to win late, pace the way that you need to, just like we saw Ellie do in the first heat. Then, of course, these calories count. Stay strict on your tempo on the bike, know what you need to hold, and then big engines and strong bodies tend to have favor in this event specifically.
The lane assignments for the second and final heat. Emma Lawson will be in lane number 7, trying to hold off Gabby McGowan and Cara Saunders. McGowan just 10 points back, Saunders 25 points back. Laura Horvath, meanwhile, moved up to 4th place overall, courtesy of an event win in back attack.
Speaking of strong bodies and strong engines, Laura Horvath is that in droves. I really love this workout for her on the erg specifically, and also with cycling of the barbell. I think she's got the capacity to have urgency on the barbell and dictate the pace of the bike just to play the field with where she wants to end up amongst these other ladies.
Opening 15 calories. All the athletes within about 2 of each other right now. Laura Horvath and Gabby McGowan are out front early. It's going to be McGowan off the bike along with Horvath, Saunders, and Alexis Raptis. Here comes Emma Lawson.
You notice Gabby even starts with a mixed grip. When you watch athletes do that, one hand over, one hand under, they're literally just trying to conserve their grip maybe preserve some of their grip stamina for the latter rounds. But that ensures you that they're going to be breaking up this complex and not going unbroken.
Amanda Barnhart now. First woman done. She's on the right side of your screen with long blue pants. First back to the bike, just ahead of Gabby Magawa and Laura Horvath.
Watching Amanda's hands on the bike, she's got a little release there. I wonder if she feels as though that gives her grip some relief, or if there's a strategy there. I've actually never seen this done. It certainly has my brain very curious onto this strategy, or if it's even something she's conscious about.
Horvath, Magawa, and Barnhart all about even right now. Horvath judge's hand is in the air first, followed by Magawa, and then quickly by Amanda Barnhart. Once they hit 57, they'll head back to the barbell, and Horvath is now done.
And she's purely in the attack position on that bike, leaning forward, weight over the pedals, all go.
Alexis Raptis in the blue shirt, joining Magawa and Barnhart on the barbell for round 2 of DT, and here comes Cara Saunders. Now Ariel Lowen and Emma Lawson, Danielle Brandon as well. Brandon had a missed rep on back attack. The last event had to ditch the barbell and then had to load it back onto the rack, which really ended any hopes she had of a strong performance in that event. Trying to rebound here in DT with a spin. Laura Horvath just ahead of Amanda Barnhart to start round 3. 8:54.27 seconds, the time to beat in the upper right-hand part of your screen. That belongs to Ellie Turner. There is Alexis Raptis, who is moving up here. Raptis made her individual CrossFit Games debut back in August and finished in 10th and won that Echo Press event.
Yeah, Alexis Raptis has a high capacity in anything inverted upside down, and I think it was a perfect storm for her with it coupled with the Echo bike, and she's showing that she's got capacity here even with a barbell movement in this event.
She's moved into a tie right now with Gabby Magawa and Amanda Barnhart for second place behind Laura Horvath. .210 total repetitions here. Laura Horvath is now done with her third set of 15 calories. And at the 126 rep mark, she will be completely done with round 3.
The barbell just looks so effortless for her. She looks like she's completely aerobic at this point, not gasping for air, but in a place here from a conditioning perspective where she can sustain this for quite a while, which to me leaves room for her to certainly accelerate into the final 2 rounds.
Alexis Raptis in the dark blue shirt. She is moved into second place now behind Horvath, ahead of Magawa and Barnhart. Horvath with 2 reps to go to close out round 3, and she is done. So Laura Horvath putting on a charge here on Friday. Over these last 2 events, she won event 3, and if she can get inside of 8:54.27 seconds, she'll take event 4.
We saw her make a similar charge at the final day of the CrossFit Games this last year. So when she gets some momentum, you really feel it, and it seems like it carries into one event, from one event to the next for her. She seems to be in one of those charges right now.
Danielle Brandon in the long black pants, along with Cara Saunders. Back to the bike. Laura Horvath, 8 calories to go. Middle of your screen in the all black. Coming in 4th place overall with 195 points. She is only 25 points back of Gabby Magawa for second, and she's 35 points back of Emma Lawson for the overall lead. And right now, Emma Lawson sits in 5th place in this heat. And keep in mind, times from the prior heat could factor in here and really help out Laura Horvath.
Yeah, and they like the will, and I think she knows that. She knows when an event is lined up for her strengths, and she's going to certainly go attack and try to make sure that she maximizes the point outcome. Getting 100 will certainly help her situation right now.
Still has some work to do, though, as she has now 7 reps to go, 6 reps left before she is done with round 4. Emma Lawson, your overall leader in the long pants, walking up to the barbell as Horvath heads back to the bike for the final time. 2 minutes to complete this round to beat Ellie Turner's time. Alexis Raptis is all by herself now in second place. Left of your screen, getting back onto the bike. Amanda Barnhart and Gabby McGowan are now onto the bike for the final time.
And we saw from the first heat of these women that you might seem as though you have a comfortable lead, but if one athlete makes a surge on the bike or perhaps switches what they've done from in the first 4 rounds into the last round, the opportunity is still there with even a 5 to 7 second lead. So there's still a lot up in the air here for places 2nd through 10.
Horvath continues to hold off Alexis Raptis. Horvath is ahead of Ellie Turner's pace right now. Less than a minute to go before we hit Turner's top time. So Horvath heads to the barbell for her 5th and final round of DT. If she can do this unbroken, she's going to have a good chance of winning this event. Now Alexis Raptis back to the barbell.
Both these ladies strong showing in their first deadlifts, but you know Alexis Raptis is going to drop the bar. She had that mixed grip, so she already showed us that, simply how she approached the bar.
24 seconds for Laura Horvath. She's got 6 reps to go, so Laura Horvath is going to do it. Back-to-back event wins for Laura Horvath to close out Friday, and she beats Ellie Turner by 10 seconds. Alexis Raptis, great effort from her. She's 2 seconds back, and here comes Gabby McGowan. Raptis is going to be good enough for 2nd place in the event. Barnhart and Danielle Brandon, good rebound for Brandon after that mishap in event number 3, and now overall leader Emma Lawson is across. 9:12.94 seconds for her.
We'll have to wait to see how this shakes out the standings, but we know those times from Heat 1 are going to affect her placing.
Here comes Ariel Lowen. By 10 seconds over Ellie Turner with her 2nd straight event win here. And depending on what happened with the prior heat and where those times slide in, she has a chance of overtaking Emma Lawson for the overall lead. Wire to wire for Laura Horvath, although Alexis Raptis did make it interesting late.
Yeah, they both did fantastic. I mean, I'm really impressed with what we've seen from Alexis Raptis in this particular sequence of events. But we were leaning into Laura Horvath all the way out of the gate, and we knew when you see a monostructural movement like the bike, or the Echo bike specifically, in a barbell, where that's going to be some bread and butter for her. But I was really impressed with what Alexis Raptis showed here in means of straight up work capacity and engine. Laura Horvath was able to hold her off until the very end, but Raptis certainly made it close and made it interesting.
Laura Horvath picks up her 2nd straight event win here, and she is with Kiki Dixon. But before that, here are your event results. Horvath and Raptis finished 1 and 2. Ellie Turner picks up another solid event finish as she takes 3rd. It's Gabriella McGowan and then Annie Thorisdottir rounding out the top 5. Now let's send it down to Kiki Dixon with your event winner, Laura Horvath.
Laura, congratulations on your back-to-back event wins tonight. Typically, DT.
Thank you.
The crowd get
Thank you so much.
Rightfully so. Typically, DT is all gas, no brakes, but this time we added a pedal with that Echo bike. How did that affect your pacing?
I just pick like the moderately fastish pace that I know like could keep on the bike. And like basically try to pace the bikes and just get the bar out of the way as fast as I could.
Now you've completed DT in the past, DT with a swim. You got to win. Which do you prefer and why?
I'm gonna say I like the bike version. The other one is just like a sprint, and now you have to like a little bit of technique and like strategy behind it. So I really like it. I also use the Echo bike every single day, so I like it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you guys. You're awesome. Thank you.
Your overall standings is Gabriella McGowa, who is now your overall leader with 305 total points, 10 points now on Laura Horvath, who moves from 4th into 2nd. Emma Lawson drops down to 3rd. Annie Thorisdottir continues to climb. She gains 2 spots, up from 6th into 4th. And it's Amanda Barnhart who goes from 8th to 5th. Ellie Turner jumps up 5 places into 6th. And with that, the opening day of competition here at Dell Diamond is in the books. 3 events for the CrossFit athletes. We saw 3 exciting events for the strongmen, and the legends also made an appearance. Plenty of more action over the next 2 days. But we are not done yet here at Dell Diamond in Round Rock, Texas. Coming up next, Jamie Hagia, Pat Sherwood, and Dr. Bill Crawford wrap things up here on the Rogue Iron Game.